What's up, YouTube? It's Devin Midrow here, popping in again, and I hope everybody had a great Super Bowl weekend, or just a weekend, right? I realize that some people are like, Super Bowl, they don't care about it. You know, they don't. It's not a big deal for them, and for a lot of people it is, right? You know, a lot of people tune in. Some people might not even care for the Super Bowl, but they'll just watch it anyway because it's like, all right, it's the Super Bowl, right? It's the big game. It's the final game of the top two teams that made it to the Super Bowl. And that's cool, right? That's totally cool. Everybody has their own flavor. Everybody has their own style, their own deal, right, so to speak. And yeah, so that's kind of what it is, right? But I do hope you had a great weekend. And I'm going to work. I am going to work today, you know, and that is because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of calling in sick, right? I mean, first of all, just part of it is I'm not really a big drinker, right? I don't drink much, you know. And if you drink, cool. Again, it's your life. I've done a lot of research on alcohol, and I'm just gonna stand firm on where I'm at with it, and it's really bad for your health. Sorry if you like to drink. I mean, obviously, the less you drink, you know, it's gonna not impact your health as much, right? So if you drink in moderation, you know, cool. You know, I mean, that works. You know, that's totally fine too. Yeah, just, you know, I've had my fair share of alcohol, right? You know, decent amount, and you know, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm cool, man. I don't think I need to do it anymore. I'm not missing anything. Like when I go out or when, you know, me and my wife go out, hang out with friends or whatever, and people are drinking, right? And you know what? A lot of times, especially the people we hang with, they're super cool, man. They're a fun bunch, and it really just kind of, you know, I guess you could say, elevates the atmosphere, right? Like it really kind of allows people to let loose, really get to having a good time, right, and all that good stuff. So, you know, I can see the reasoning behind it. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with it. I'm more of I look at health and longevity and think like I want to feel good the next day, right? How many people right now, and you could be one of them if you're watching, how many people right now are called in sick because they done partied way too hard on Super Bowl, right? They got way too carried away, and you wake up the next day and you hanging hard, right? And you're like, yep. So many people, they want to call in sick and they was partying hard last night, but they can't call in sick because they either got to be at work because they just can't call in sick for whatever reason, for, you know, that particular job, or they can't afford to call in sick. So you got to go to work, you know, in a pretty rough position and get through the day somehow, some way get through the day. You know what I mean? There's so many scenarios that this comes off of. And I don't know, just a rabbit hole. I just kind of went down on this one. Speaking of rabbit holes, man, the one thing that's kind of cool about the Super Bowl that I appreciate. I mean, I appreciate the game first and foremost because I'm a football fan. But I'm not a hardcore football fan. You know, I'm not a diehard like, oh yeah, don't you talk about my team. You know, I'll punch you in the mouth. You know, I don't think I'm just gonna let them talk, right? People are gonna talk. They got the freedom of speech to say what they're gonna say. That's cool, right? You know, you gotta have fun. You gotta do what you do. But I do appreciate the sport. I played it for 8 seasons. You know, all through high school, even prior to high school, I played football. It's the most played sport out of any sport that I played, and I wrote an email about that too. But yeah, really the big thing was the commercials, man. The commercials are just awesome, man. Like you see these commercials, it's like, wow. Like if you could just, I think you can actually probably YouTube it and be like, all the Super Bowl commercials that are played. And if you're looking for like ideas and inspiration, man, watch that. Even the Super Bowl halftime show, you know. And I mean, Rihanna's cool, man. I think she's got a cool thing going on. She's got good energy, good vibes, you know. And I like her music. You know, I'm a fan when it comes down to it. I think she got good music. She's unique. She's different. You know, she stands out from a lot of other artists, right? I mean, and every artist has their own unique propositions. But hey, if you're getting on the halftime show at Super Bowl, you're doing something right. So, but yeah, her show, I was like, wow, man, that was a cool event. It really looked neat, watching that event. And yeah, the commercials are great. One of the commercials that really got me, like, I was like, oh, I got it before it really said it, but I got it, and it was kind of subtle, but you're like, it was these giant bunny suits, right? People in bunny suits, right? I mean, it looked like, they made it look like kind of real bunnies, but it was just bunny suits, right? And they kind of looked like angry bunnies. They're questionable, right? They definitely didn't look like the happy bunnies you see on the Easter egg candy, whatever you sell, all the Easter egg stuff, right? They looked a little pissed off, and it's kind of concerning. It's like, whoa, these giant, massive rabbits, like human-sized rabbits going around, basically grabbing people from all over the place, pulling them out of cars, pulling them out of like coffee shops, just coming in and just, people are looking at them and they're just grabbing them, not saying anything, just pulling them and just grabbing them, dragging them on the ground. It's kind of disturbing, right? So, but it captures your attention. And then they go to this hole and they're throwing people in. There's even a guy standing by the hole, and the rabbit comes and just kicks him in the hole. And it's pretty hilarious, man. I got a kick out of it, man. Figuratively and literally. And then I figured it out. I was like, what? There's a hole and the rabbit hole. And I believe it was a commercial for Tubi TV, some kind of free TV streaming thing they got going on, which is a cool model, right? It's a smart model, right? You pull a bunch of people onto a free TV network that probably is gonna, you're gonna have ads, right? You got to watch ads. Like, that's really the name of the game. If you pay for the service, you don't watch ads. If you don't pay for the service needs to fund itself, so it promotes ads because the ads pay them so much to promote on their channel, right? And so if there's a free channel that allows you to watch movies for free, not like Netflix, not like Hulu, not like Amazon Prime and whatever it's called, right? They got Apple TV. There's like, I don't even know all the names. There's a ton of them out there, right? That you got to pay a monthly subscription. Now, is it an arm and a leg? Well, it's kind of getting a little up there now. A lot of them are getting expensive, right? It's not a whole bunch of money, but if you look at the cost, it could be kind of expensive. Yeah, this place, they're promoting something. They put a commercial on the freaking Super Bowl. And hopefully, excuse my language, but they put a commercial on the Super Bowl, and it is not cheap. And it was probably about a good minute. And I don't know how much it costs. I'm sure, it's got to be $1 million to promote on the Super Bowl, right? And you figure if they're a free service, how are they making their money? Well, ads, right? But if you figure if there's enough people to jump on and watch their service and get a lot of people involved, they're doing something right. It's a model that works. And eventually they may charge a little bit down the road. They may bump in a subscription, or they might give you the option to, hey, if you don't want to see these ads anymore, pay this much money. And then they basically built a massive channel with a lot of people watching on there. And they've built a business, right? You've built a business. It's a model that definitely works, right? It totally works. But again, that's kind of my takeaway is that commercial, the rabbit hole commercial. It got me. I thought it was real creative. But that's the bigger takeaways. If you are thinking that there are no more ideas in the world and you've run out of ideas to use and you can't create an idea for yourself, just get out in the world and go look at the billions of people that are creating ideas and just making up stuff. There is literally an endless amount of ideas before your clock is punched, before expiration date. You cannot run out of ideas. It's impossible. You can do it. Because even if you live forever, ideas would continue to be created forever. And it's not just you, it's the billions of people in this world doing it. So that's my 2 cents for the day. Maybe go check out the YouTube commercials for the Super Bowl. I thought it was awesome. The whole thing was a great event. And yeah, that's it. Keep it short and sweet. Aloha.